Okay, so let's talk allergies and why allergies often turn into a head cold or sinus infection or ear infection. So what starts is we breathe in an allergen, a dust mite, pollen, hair or dander from an animal. So it comes in, the body feels attacked, and what happens then is our body reacts by inflaming our passageways. It's just inflammation is a protective mechanism of the body. Doesn't really help us out that much most of the time, but this is what happens. So all of a sudden now our sinus ways, our earways, our breathing ways, our lungs, those passageways, they'll get inflamed. So then another reaction out of protection that our body does when exposed to an allergen is it creates mucus. Now, mucus actually has a lot of really good benefits in our body. So one of the things it does is it keeps all of our passageways nice and moist so those tissues don't get dry and damaged. It will also trap unwanted bacteria from entering into the system. So it kind of just glues it all together. That's why it's sticky. And then also mucus carries a lot of antibodies or enzymes in it to naturally kill or neutralize any of the harmful material or bacteria that we're breathing in. So mucus is actually a good thing. Our body creates it, that's good. But the problem is that sometimes we create too much of it, or it may not be that we have too much mucus, it's that we don't have clear passageways for that mucus to drain out. So instead of being an overproduction problem, it's more of a plumbing issue. So one of the analogies that I use in clinic with patients a lot is think about a bowl of water that you would set out in the summer, right? And then the next day, you would never allow your kids to drink that, right? Because you know that stagnant water, it doesn't tend to do good. You're much, another thing I've been told, I don't hunt or fish or camp, but that drinking from a river, a fast moving stream is a lot healthier than a pond, because stagnant fluid is going to collect bacteria. And so the same thing is going to happen with this mucus in our body, is that as long as our passageways are nice and clear and we've got good plumbing, our drainage system, everything kind of moves along well and we're fine and the immune system is doing its job. But now what happens if you have an inflamed passageway and you have a drainage problem? So now our body's creating mucus to protect us and it just sits there. So then we start to get pressure buildup, and then that fluid starts to get infected. It's like a breeding ground for bacteria. And that's why it's so common that we'll see a child, whether they're teething and their body creating extra mucus, guess what happened? They don't have a good plumbing. All of a sudden they get an ear infection. Or, you're having a bad cough from an allergen. And then all of a sudden what happens is you get bronchitis. And so these things tend to go hand in hand. But the thing to keep in mind is that it doesn't need to. And we allow bad plumbing to cause so many more problems for ourselves and our kids than it needs to be. So one of the best ways to kind of keep her moving is having a healthy upper spine for yourself or your child. That's getting your upper neck adjusted. When your upper neck is adjusted and in alignment, it's literally think about if your head is a basin, that top vertebrae is like the drain. In alignment, you've got a nice drainage system and the mucus moves, all those fluids go through there. It actually sends much more powerful messages to your immune system, and your plumbing is working really well, good drainage, and then all of a sudden allergies don't need to turn into these major infections, head colds, things like that. So this is just one tip, and we obviously didn't dig into a lot of the science behind all of this, but this is just one thing that we're going to cover in our upcoming workshop. It's free, it's online, it's our Allergy and Sinus workshop that is coming up in a couple weeks. And if you haven't registered yet, you got to do it, because even if you can't make the live event online, we will send you the replay. So hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. We'll see you soon.